Dallas Goedert was tight end 12 last year, 55 receptions, 69 targets, 702 yards, 3 touchdowns, an average of 5.8 targets per game. Thoughts on Dallas Goedert?
Man, I really like Dallas Goedert. He just doesn't quite get the red zone looks that you would expect, right? They use him a decent amount in between the 20s, fairly consistent as far as targets per game. He didn't have massive up and down swings, but again, it's a tight end who is touchdown dependent, right? Because if he ends up with 5 or 6 touchdowns instead of wide receiver 12, we're talking about instead of talking about tight end 12, we're talking about tight end 6, right? Like, you can wait on him a little bit. You can miss the first and even second kind of wave of tight end. Like, you don't have to deal with that. And then as you're filling up in your roster, you can go ahead and take your flyer there if you feel comfortable everywhere else. The problem with where Dallas Goedert's going, there's a lot of running back value there, especially if you're going 0 RB.
He is the last of the second tight end run, right? And really the first tight end run. But the first tight end run is Travis Kelce. And then there's that second tight end run, and Dallas Goedert's like the last one. And he might even be the start of the third tight end run in most drafts. This is not a knock on him. He is a fine tight end. It would do better if he could find the end zone more. But for what Kevin just said, it doesn't happen. For whatever reason, it just doesn't happen, and it hurts. And with where he's going, I think there's more upside with guys that are going later. And to Kevin's point, there's a ton of running back talent right there in that 6th round.
Coming off the board, pick 61, tight end 6. I think you're going to have a hard time kind of returning value on that one there, right? Like, I would rather take my shot on several wide receivers or running backs, kind of all in that range, right? Jerry Jeudy's going in that range. Chris Godwin, Rashad White, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk, David Montgomery. I think I would rather take my shot on any one of those guys over Dallas Goedert in that 6th round. And I think I'd feel happier about that one. Just from the standpoint that, if we get, where I think that he's going to finish, I think he's going to end up underperforming where you have to take him off the board at. It would not going to surprise me when we look up at the end of the season and he's your tight end 8, 9, 10 type of thing. So to that point, you wait a little bit longer on tight end and roll that route would be the way that I would rather do that one myself. So